realize this, when you understand that everything that you have is not because of an entitlement, it is conferred.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, sir, you are a person who was,
It is a conferred.
whom I can say was born with a silver spoon,
Yes.
if I can say that.
Yes, you're right. Let me tell you what my father told me at the start of my practice.
Okay.
He told me, said, a client may come to you because you are my son.
Sir, when I proposed this podcast to you and I said we'll come today and you said it's a working day, come with robes, let's have a conversation. So what did you think, sir? I mean, what was the thought behind having a conversation with robes? And
No, first let us talk about uniform. Now, a doctor has a uniform, a white coat.
Okay.
Now, should lawyers have
A uniform. Yeah, what is your view, sir? What?
You know when you will realize this, when you understand that everything that you have is not because of an entitlement, it is conferred.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, sir, you are a person who was,
It is a conferred.
whom I can say was born with a silver spoon,
Yes.
if I can say that.
Yes, I was born
But
with silver
from then to coming to this stage of humility, of understanding life, and to be in a position and being successful at the same time, how your journey has been, sir? What were the lessons that you learned which made you change to come to this level?
First, the realization that nobody is perfect, nobody is without faults.
Okay.
If you realize that, then you will begin to see the plus points in somebody. The moment you meet somebody, you don't look at the defects or the minus points. You look at the plus points in him or in her.
So bringing a positive attitude, sir.
Makes that, I think, is so fundamental.
Sir, were you always positive or you had to inculcate that?
Well, sometimes
Just-
you
yeah.
feel very diffident, but you have to kick yourself.
No, but otherwise, sir, it's my experience that some people are born positive, in the sense that DNA combination is such a way that they are quite positive.
Yes.
Some of them are like me, have to work really hard. So were you very positive? Because, sir, you had a very towering personality as a father. He was successful in profession, then he adorned the bench of the High Court, and thereafter you were a very darling child for him. So I'm sure people must have always compared you to him, and how would you overcome that? And how did you remove all those shackles and come out success?
You're absolutely right.
How did you do that, sir?
Your statement is very true. They would compare everything that I did with what would your father have done this?
Or they would say, nothing very amazing. After all, he is a son of such a great father. So as if you don't have any intelligence and all the intelligence has come
Absolutely.
only.
You're,
So how did you handle?
You're very correct in your
How did you
analysis.
handle?
Well, that requires a attitude. You say, yes, I am proud
To be
to be the son
the child of mine.
so and
So
so.
and so. Okay.
But let me tell you what my father told me at the start of my practice.
Okay.
He told me, said, a client may come to you because you are my son.
Yes.
But be sure that unless you prove yourself, that client is going to walk out of you. He is not
Correct.
going to sacrifice his interest for the sake of you being the son of so and so. Therefore, you have to work hard.
Okay.
You have to prove to the client. And let me tell you what happened. My father had retired as a judge of the High Court. And when I was practicing, my father told me clearly, do not come and consult me on any of your matters.
When he was
When he had retired.
when he had retired. So just to get a timeline, sir, your father retired around
My father retired in 1970. In fact, I enrolled myself in
Exact-
1976.
so almost a good,
Good 6
5,
years.
6 years of gap.
My father had told me, don't consult me. I asked him why. He told me, look, I want you to face a client.
Okay.
I want you to face difficult questions. I also want you to face dissatisfaction from the client.
Okay.
You have to face all that if you want to be a good lawyer. If for every little thing
If you're coming running
You
to
come
me.
into my home, what are you going to do?
Oh, okay. So he in effect made you like a first generation lawyer.
Absolutely. He
So-
said-
so on this-
And then he told me, if you want,
Huh.
informally you talk to me,
So sweet.
not in the presence of the client.
So sweet. Very
So
nice.
that-
No, at the same time, I think he wanted to give you that assurance
Absolutely.
that you are there. On
Insurance.
You have thought about it, and I am there, and I give you assurance to think of
Yeah,
it in this
exactly.
manner. Sir, what would you then say? Because you see many of the advocates who come as a second generation, I have been a first generation advocate. So who come for second generation advocates face these kind of issues. But the society and people, the peers always say that they have it easy because they have that backing. To some extent, I also agree, yes, they have it easy. But I don't know in long run. So what is your view, sir, between a first generation
lawyer and a
and
second generation,
or a successive generation
successive
coming with
generation
a
lawyers, correct.
great legacy?
Yes. The legacy is a springboard,
Yes,
but you must learn to swim.
in the end,
Right?
yes.
You can't simply dive because you have a springboard.
So many of the, I can only say fathers, I hope very soon mothers also will come.
Of course.
I always rescue their children when such situation happens. So, and then always bring them back. They get more chances, they get more cases. So, how
You
do
know, Anuradha, I feel that is all going to be short-lived.
Yes, sir. On a span of 20 years, yes, it's going to be short-lived. But when there is a first-generation advocate and there is a seasoned or a legacy advocate, for 5, 7, 10 years, it's going to be very difficult for that first generation
I
to
agree.
swim through,
I agree.
have that grit. Many of them just leave it and go because they say we cannot match.
I agree. There is no doubt about it.
So what
They-
advice would you give for such,
But
apart from holding on patiently, what else?
take advantage of the fact that you have a legacy. There is no need to be ashamed of it.
That is for
Point
a
number
person
one.
who has a legacy, sir. For the person who is a first
Hold
generation.
on. This is a profession where you have to be patient.
Yes.
It is, if you are in a hurry, this is not the profession.
Yes. Yeah, that is, I think, one of the most important.
If you are only interested in making the quick buck,
This is not the
this is not the profession. If you want to have a sustained career, go on, stick.
then something.
Something will.
So, and you agree, sir, our profession is still a profession and a noble profession, or has it become a very business model?
It is today different from what it was, but I would not say it has ceased to be a noble profession. And profession is noble or otherwise depending upon the practitioner.
Yeah, upon us,
Upon us.
how we are doing
Therefore,
it.
while I agree that it has become more commercial than what it was earlier. Why? Because trade and commerce has generally increased.
Okay.
For example, when my father was practicing as a lawyer, what were the maximum type of cases that would come?
I would say employment cases,
Employment
labor
cases,
matter, land reforms.
revenue, or you have partition suits,
But
Hindu
yes,
Dharma. These are the type. Why? Please look at the law reports.
Okay.
Say, look at the law reports, say, prior to 1980-85.
Were all of these cases only. Majority were, trade unions.
Exactly.
That is employment.
Or tenancy laws.
Tenancy laws, correct, eviction.
And,
But for those days, even they were quite commercial. For
They were.
example, they would say he or she would be a advocate only for the owner. That means that's a rich advocate. Advocate who appears only for establishment, for management. So that's a rich advocate. Even those that were there, but you think we are more commercialized today?
Of course, for more than one reason. First, trade and commerce within the country has expanded exponentially.
Okay.
Second, the world has become flat. Trade and commerce
Almost
across
same across
nations
are the
become
same.
seamless.
Like for example, competition law you take
Seamless.
trade patents, everything is more or less the same.
Seamless today.
And we're having international arbitrations now.
Exactly. Therefore, the complexion of the practice of law has changed. But
The nobility should be
should
with the
be
with the
retained by
professionals,
everybody.
by professionals.
Whether it is in the commercial law field or in the non-commercial law field, there are certain eternal values,
Okay.
which you have to maintain. For example, I'm talking about the practice of law in this country.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the practice of law in the United States because it's different.
Yeah, because that's a commission-based
Yeah,
fee and
exactly.
everything. So we'll not go there.
It is different.
We will
So
talk
let's not
about
talk
this.
about it.
Yes.
Now today, whether it is a commercial litigation or it is say a litigation pertaining to compensation for land acquired or accident.
Okay.
The principle that you cannot charge a success fee
Is same
is
all
uniform,
along.
right?
Yeah, is uniform.
So therefore, how does it?
And so long as you don't breach it,
Yeah.
you are carrying on the
Exactly.
noble profession.
Exactly. Now, you look at a commercial. I'll give you another angle to this. You look at a commercial litigation. You say, well, the stakes are very high. I'm not going to ask the client to pay me a portion of the success.
I could ask a little higher fee.
I'm going to charge you a higher fee.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's okay.
Yes.
It's perfectly all right.
So long as you are, with this what happens, you are not part of the ultimate decision.
You are not.
You are not part of the, you are not a beneficiary of the
Oh,
ultimate
exactly.
decision. So that
You
I
tell
think
him,
makes a
look,
lot of discussion.
I'm going to charge you this much.
Whatever happens to the case.
Whatever happens to the client. If the client thinks that your fee is too high, the client will not come to you. So be it. That is not breaching
Your
ethics.
professional ethics.
See, therefore, answer to your question, the type of litigation is there then, type of litigation today, is it different? Of course it is.
But values are same.
Same.
What we need to practice ethically or otherwise
Are the
is
same.
all the same.
Are
So,
the
so long as we are going to keep that, our profession
You're
is nothing
fine.
to be
No
worried
problem.
about. So another little aspect of this, another aspect of this is about advertisement, which is now we see very much in social medias. Now we have so much. You've seen how technology has really flooded. Now, as per our Bar Council rules, we are not, of course, senior advocates like us have no way to have expose in any way at all. But even the advocates have what kind of size name board they should put, what they can advertise, what they can't advertise. We are not allowed to advertise anything. But today we have firms and others who are, without it, it's not possible. You can't have an establishment of 100 advocates and not know the world that you are there. So how do we, what do you think? Where do we draw the line?
According to me, you must understand why this restriction
Is there
on
first,
advertising.
in the first place?
It is to ensure that lawyers don't canvass. Now, as long as you are not canvassing by virtue of an advertisement for a brief, according to me, there is no breach of the rule. Now, let us look at it. Now, I give you another angle to this. Today, like any other field, the practice of law is also becoming more and more specialized.
Correct.
Some lawyers practice only on the direct taxes side. Some
Yes,
do
yes.
only indirect taxes. Some do only commercial law. Some do family
Only
law,
arbitration, some do
only
yes, yes,
arbitrations.
yes.
Now, how will a client
Know
a
your
prospective
specialization.
know what your specialization is? Now, the client may have a patent matter.
Okay.
Now, the client must know, do you know patent law? Have you handled patent cases? Because I don't want to trust my case with somebody who does not know the ABC of that field of law. Now, as part of that, especially given the international character of law practice now, where client sitting 10,000 miles away wants to know which lawyer do I engage.
So what you're saying is that a person who is sitting far away at least should know the merit of a given lawyer through some means.
Some means.
Like an article written by them.
There must be some...
Something on social media to say.
If the client says, look, I want a profile of your firm. I want to know, because mine is a very big litigation. I
Who
want
are
to know how
all
many
there?
lawyers are there in your firm.
Okay, so-
Now, what's your bandwidth? Who are the lawyers who are going to handle my case? Now, what's the qualification of those lawyers? If I disclose
So what you're saying is if I disclose to a given person, I am not really advertising.
maybe that the client has not decided to come to you.
May not be. I am only showcasing
Exactly.
my in-house talent.
That's right. Therefore, this bar against advertisement
Is to be understood in
is
this
to be
fashion.
understood in that. It is not, as they call, it is not a cold call. You don't just advertise like
Yeah,
that
like
in public.
I remember saying in England, they have for all injury claims.
Please contact
Please contact so and so. So that
No.
that is not.
That's a cold call.
That's yes. Okay. Yes.
If a client has approached you and says, hey,
I want to know
I
about
want to
you.
know about you.
Firm. So I'll say, okay, I'm going to give a link to
Go here,
where I
my
have.
details
Please
are
go
there.
Okay.
I can, maybe 20 years ago, I would have printed a profile, and then
I would have
sent
given
it to him.
Okay.
Today, I don't have to do it.
I just post it on
I
the
just look, it's
website.
on my website, please have a look at it. What's wrong about it?
Nice. No, anyway, sir, that's good. This is
We
what
have to be
just wanted
progressive
to.
in our thinking. We
So
have to be progressive
ultimately,
in
an
our thinking.
individual or a firm has to take a conscious call,
Yes.
keeping underlining ethics of the profession.
Exactly.
That how much am I going to, whether this amounts to advertisement or this amounts to giving of
You
information,
should
and take
draw,
a conscious
you should draw
call.
a line.
You should
There
draw a
should be a Lakshman Rekha.
Yeah, to that. And I think you have given them enough guidance as to where they should. Okay. Sir, when I proposed this podcast to you and I said we'll come today, and you said it's a working day, come with robes, let's have a conversation. So what did you think, sir? I mean, what was the thought behind having a conversation with robes? And let us talk about our dress, or what do you call it? It's our identity to begin with, but there are little criticisms in the effect that it's a very colonial setup. Then we're in tropical region. Why should we layer ourselves so much? So just on that, sir, what brings?
I agree that this is colonial.
Yes,
I don't think we can run away from the fact. For example, in the United States,
Yes,
you can see on YouTube, and there are so many other ways of seeing how arguments are advanced in the US Supreme Court.
Yes,
We saw it especially during COVID.
correct.
Nobody wears robes.
Yeah, nobody wears robes. Yeah,
America is different. England is different. Now, this is colonial.
There's no two opinions
No
on that.
two opinions
So should
about
we
it. It is.
continue with this, or
Well.
let's talk
Okay.
everything about the robes,
Forget
sir.
about
You
it.
asked.
Now,
Yes,
let,
sir.
let us go to the basics. Should there be a uniform?
I would say, should there be a dress code?
Oh no, first let us talk about uniform. Now, a doctor has a uniform, a white coat.
Okay.
Now, should lawyers have
A uniform. Yeah, what is your view, sir? What
I think they should have.
they should have?
The reason is this. You see, we are dealing with an institution which is a very important part of our administrative setup.
Correct.
Now, I dress this way in a particular manner, not because I like it. It is because it gives
Some kind of a status
to
and a
that
power.
institution.
Yeah, to that
That
institution.
is why
You have to
lawyers-
have a dress code.
you must have a dress code. And as a respect to that institution, as a respect to your own profession, you should dress well. It is not necessary that you should dress stylishly.
Stylishly, yes.
It is not necessary that you should spend money on your
Or
dress.
to have a very flashy outlook.
No.
Not required.
But you should be neat,
Neat.
and clean.
Presentable. Very presentable.
Now, let us look at our lawyer's dress code. I have some views
Yes,
on
sir.
it. I
Please.
have seen.
Yes, sir.
A black coat is worn by so many people.
Yes.
What's so special about a black coat?
Correct.
Nothing.
Correct.
Now, a striped trousers like the one I am wearing.
Yeah. Or worn even by bearers in the.
Exactly, I am about to tell you. They are worn by the
in a
parents
hotel.
in a
Yes.
five-star hotel. Now, a collar is also worn by
Yeah.
the bearers in. If you, for example, if you read P.G. Wodehouse,
Yes, that they have all the Frenchmen also wear.
you have
Yes, Jeeves,
Jeeves,
who's
who
always
is
wearing a
this
collar. Yes,
collar.
yes.
Now, what is it that
Distinguishes.
is special about a lawyer?
Lawyer.
Are these bands?
Oh, I see. Okay.
That is why you should never wear a crumpled, dirty band.
Dirty bands.
It's not necessary that it should be very flashy, but it should be clean.
Clean.
That is why when a person is arguing, a lawyer is arguing his own case.
That is when
That
you
says,
take off your bands. Correct. Take off your band
Therefore, bands is the distinguishing feature
for a lawyer.
of our dress code as a lawyer. Of course, it looks nice to be in a white shirt instead of having a red color shirt with a black. I mean, it's not allowed. The Bar Council rules don't allow it.
Yes.
It is to maintain, one,
Sobriety.
the dignity of the profession.
Yeah,
Second, dignity of the institution.
Institution. To whom, from before whom you present yourself.
See, you have to be, there should be
Some dress
some
code is
dress
what you're
code.
saying.
Now, why is it that
It is black and white.
Why
should it be
Well, black and white is simply a
Colourless.
relic of the past.
colorless? It doesn't give any indication of anything.
And anybody can, it is uniform.
Yeah.
There is no shades of black, there is no shades of
Okay.
white.
Yeah, you know,
you have, white is white, black is black.
I look at it this way, sir. I feel when you are going, let us say you go to a religious institution, or you are going to seek blessings from a Swamiji or anything like that. Now, if the Swamiji is going to be sitting with a three-piece suit and with shoes and have a flashy watch, and would you get devotion?
No.
You won't get, right?
No.
So, but maybe he must be the most pious person.
That's a different matter.
It's a different, like that,
Yes.
for every profession or institution, there is a dress code.
Correct.
And probably, and you have seen that, you've been raised seeing this.
Correct.
So,
Might as well continue it. It's doing good to
if there's
everybody.
something else which is as beautiful as this, I think we are open to
it, but
to adopt.
Why change for
when
the
something
sake
is
of
already
change?
changed. Okay, yes.
For
Something is
example,
nice.
in a weather condition like Chennai,
Yes, yeah, it's very difficult
very
to wear
difficult
a coat.
to. No, what did they do? In fact, you have many
in-
old-time lawyers in Chennai who were going to court with dhoti.
Here also, sir.
Here also?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think up to 1990.
So many people were doing.
We used to come in
Yes,
dhoti.
good. Nothing wrong about it. Therefore, you adapt the dress to suit
your
the
culture.
And that's okay. But there are certain basic things. If the law by the Bar Council rules prescribe that the dress code of a lawyer should be a black coat and a band, it does not prescribe that you should have a butterfly collar.
Mm.
Well, why do you want to change it for the sake of change?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Why do you want to reinvent a wheel? We have many more things to learn. There are
I
so
only
many
felt
things.
good, sir, because I thought whenever I do podcast, I'm in a little different avatar. Today I do it in black and white. People will recognize me better, maybe. I thought that was one
See,
way of.
look at this. There are certain unwritten codes. You want to meet the President of India.
Okay.
Is there a rule book which
No,
says
you don't
that
know.
you should be dressed in such a way? Would you go and meet the President of India in shorts?
No.
Of course not.
Of course not. Correct.
Why? That's the position. You're meeting the President of the country.
So it's a
And
mark
then-
of respect.
It's a mark of respect.
Or holding high the dignity of
That office.
the office to which
So
before
therefore,
whom you are
everybody
going.
must conduct himself or herself in a particular manner. You don't go in a suit and tie to a temple, would you? Does anything bar?
No, there's no
Nothing
bar.
bars. But you don't do it. I mean, it's not done.
So where it is what, so you try and follow
you should
that.
follow it.
So anyways, I am very happy that
I'm
you
very
asked
happy.
me to have me.
I'm very happy
that you asked
being
me to
in this.
wear it. I thought scenery said, so let's wear and sit. I hope.
I am very happy in this attire.
Uh,
It gives me a sense of satisfaction.
Satisfaction. That's very nice, sir. So we'll continue our podcast with this because you just now finished a hearing. I also finished a hearing and came. So we are justified, I guess,
That's how it should be.
wearing this.
That's how it should be.
And we are
one
all
thing, Anuradha, we have to be proud
of what?
of our
Yes.
vocation.
Vocation. Very true.
You should be, at the end of the day, you should say, well, I think I acquitted myself well.
Well, yes.
I did not contribute to chaos.
Chaos. Okay. And respect what we are wearing.
And respect what?
Respect what we are wearing.
People recognize you. Black coat is
Our identity.
identity. Why should we lose it?
Yeah. Be proud of it.
Be proud of it. Enjoy
Okay.
it.
Good. Thank you, sir.
Enjoy the profession.
Thank you.